Talk philosophies. My interest in philosophies included the publication of my 2005 book, The Way of the Physical Preparation Coach. Had a lot of work to get through here. In 1997, I spoke about my philosophy that athletic success is not measured in the gym, unless you're a weightlifter or a powerlifter. I don't need to know if you're getting stronger in the gym. I need to know whether you came out next season and were a better athlete. Because the athlete is not being judged by how much they're lifting in the gym, so why are we taking risks with loading? That there's very limited correlation between what can be lifted in the gym and the scoreboard. So that's over 7 years I spoke about that. And how we have. The objective is not to get stronger per se. I don't know what the year this was published. Talking about powerlifting. Talking about strength in the gym and improvements in sport. This is a comparison between my 1997 discussion on this topic, and when you break it down by paragraph, you can see the unique similarities. We're talking about attachment to ideas. I've spoken on many occasions about not being attached to certain ways. If we find a better way tomorrow, we should feel no attachment to the limitations of our current way and willing to replace any aspect of our thought or actions with more effective thoughts or actions. I've often said the reason why I get great results is because I'm not attached to any one particular way of training, and if I see a better way of training, I would take it on board. 4 years later, if someone else got results faster than I did, I would copy them. I don't have an attachment to my ideas. No attachment. Avoiding dogma. From 1999 onwards, I spoke quite often about the dogma in the industry and how important it is to avoid it, etc., etc. Extensive references to dogma, as you can see. And then a discussion of dogma here. That paragraph we'll be talking about a lot later, I am sure. In 2005, I made a specific statement. Resist the temptation of program designed to conform to mainstream paradigms simply for the sake of conforming, no matter how dogmatically they are presented, or how much you may be ridiculed or ostracised for trusting your intuition over conformity. So in designing programs, it's important to ignore the traditional dogma we're supposed to believe. 2006. When designing, and I think we can see a great way to look at this. Oh, no, we'll go back. Resist the temptation in program design. When designing training programs, resist the pressure to conform to mainstream paradigms, to conform to any tradition or system of beliefs, no matter how dogmatically they are presented, or how much you get slammed, or how much you may be ridiculed, how much you get slammed. I've often talked about I don't know the answers, but when I get together with the athlete, my experience and their input, we come up with a program. I've often said I don't know. I combine my knowledge, experience and intuition with their knowledge, experience and intuition, then we have our information to create a program. And I've said it's an educated guess based on experience. An educated guess based on experience. An educated guess based on experience. Using your experience plus the coach's experience to reach new heights. Respect nutrition and combine this with your own knowledge and create the training plan. Develop the athlete, then the player. Develop the athlete, then the player. Fairly well established. Don't debate. I've taught quite frequently. Don't have time and the motivation to debate. To engage in a debate about training is at best mute. Arguing, debating is ineffective use of time. I don't debate. Taking credit if you're not going to take the blame. I said don't take credit when the credit's not due unless you want to take blame when it's not due. Taking the credit, taking the blame. Don't take credit if it's taking the blame. Oh, on this occasion, a rare some sort of credit. Now, when you're taking verbatim, I don't think that's adequate, but it is rare and it is there. Do the least amount of training to get the most response. Spoke about 99 onwards. Well, what do we have here 4 or 5 years later? My rule in training is always to do the least amount of work to provide the changes I want. Holding the athlete back and pushing them along. Now, you actually have to train athletes to understand this. Be an experienced trainer of athletes, and I haven't met too many of them. 2005, I put it in text, spending more time holding them back. I know Charlie Francis talks about this as well. He too trains athletes extensively. Great experience, great success. When I see people who actually don't train athletes talking about this, I wonder where they're getting it from. You need to pull an athlete back to do less. Overreaction in the short term and underaction in the long term. Spoke about it on many occasions. Overreaction in the short term and underaction in the long term. 2006, 7 years later. Overreaction in the short term and underaction in the long term. Almost verbatim. Now, if you do the same training as everyone else, how can you expect to get a better result? Spoke about it multiple times in my seminars and in my 2000 book. And here we have the practice of exactly training the way as everyone else. Knowing versus doing. Speaking about it from 1997, how I've seen many sensational research articles and surprised by the low level of competence of the author and practical application. I've seen excellent articles published, only was stunned by the lack of understanding in real life program design, practical teaching, blah, blah, blah. And here we go, 8 years later. I'm amazed at how many of these people completely blow me away with their knowledge when I'm speaking to them, watching them present. Yet when I see their programs, I'm amazed at how many of these people completely blow me away. Not verbatim, but simply paraphrased. Knowing versus doing. Being able to write nice articles is great, but if you need to provide a service, and having knowledge is one thing. Being able to take that knowledge, same sentence structure. Knowing versus doing. We've talked about knowledge, experience and intuition. I placed in text something I talked about for some time, 2005. My knowledge, experience, their knowledge, experience. Then we have the information to create a program. What do we have down here? Knowledge and experience. When you add it with their knowledge and experience, then you've got something. That is open book copying. Limitations and role of science in training. Wrote about many times from 97 onwards, including reference to Lynn Jones, former Australian Director of Coaching of US Weightlifting, scientists, sport historians, and we'll see more of that later. Loading is overrated. 1997, put recruitment before loading, spoke about it extensively. 2000, 2005, not a match lift, it's how much you use your muscles. And we've already done that one. Resist the pressure to conform, but this may have been in a different publication. Results focus from 1997, I made it very clear, my results focus. Get the results. Results are more important. Let the results do the talking. Hold it. I'm a results guy. I'm a results guy. My philosophy, results. Right and wrong. In 2005, there's no right and wrong. 2006. That doesn't mean you're right and I'm wrong, we just have a different perspective. The Way book in 2005 certainly got a workout. Seeking Role Models, 2005, someone who's gone before you. Next year, another one of the many paragraphs from 2005 that are able to be used in print in the following years. Have gone before you, has gone before you. Statements dressed up as questions. 2005, the Way book. Focus on questions, not statements. I often read or hear communication from physical preparation coaches, which is either somewhere between 100% a statement. Where there's no question, there's no answer. This is simply saying, I hope you find yourself to agree with me. You're seeking to influence the answer. Learning is optimised through asking questions, not making statements. 80%. Now I said 90 to 100%, so I guess you could say that's original. I'd say 80% of those are questions are statements in disguise. I say, got a great workout. Teaching a man how to fish from 1999 onwards. In seminars and books I wrote about teaching how to fish, and that's not an original concept. However, it's another example of a pattern which was repeated many times after I published. The big picture. 1997 onwards I made reference to the bigger picture. Take a look at the bigger picture, 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 look at the bigger picture. And it keeps going, keep talking about the bigger picture. Hop, there we go. 2005, big picture. 2006, big picture. 2009, big picture. 2009, big picture. 2009, big picture. Training is a process, not a prescription. 2005. 2006, training is a process, not a prescription. Again, the way of the physical preparation coach. Certainly got the money's worth out of that one. Who to take advice from? Don't take advice from people who can't touch their toes. Someone who puts food on the table should be the one you're looking to take advice from. Well, take training advice from those guys who train themselves reasonably high level and who put food on the table. 2005, the Way book, getting more of a workout.